Hey, True Believers, England Teen here, and it is what if time again. Going to talk about what if number two. What if the Hulk had the brain of Bruce Banner? And here to help me is Eric Backissue Breen. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
This is one of the comics that the question has already been answered because this has actually happened in regular continuity.
But at the time, this had only happened in about a 2 or 3 issue story arc back in Tales to Astonish, when Bruce Banner was shot in the head as he was turning into the Hulk, and it left him with Bruce Banner's brain. But if he ever changed back, it was going to kill him. So that was really the closest we'd ever gotten to this story before that. So this was virtually a new idea at the time.
Yeah. Okay, so as always, I start off with a cover, and I gotta tell you, I thought the first cover, you have Spider-Man bursting out of the pages of Amazing Spider-Man #1, along with a Fantastic Four with 5s on their chest. It told the story in one image. This is a panel out of the comic book, and it's a panel that doesn't happen. I'm not a big fan of this cover. What do you think?
I love it. It doesn't happen in the book per se, but it tells you enough about the story. To me, that tells me, take this off the spinner rack, go put down my 50 cents and see what happens on the inside.
Yes, 50 cents, because it's damn near double size. All right, so we go on in. We're different sides for the cover, but we start off, and as every what if goes, we have to show a little bit about how we know the Hulk and how familiar he is. So basically, we're seeing him just burst out, causing all sorts of higgledy-piggledy. Now, this is amazingly stupid. I think this is one of those things, like right now, we know the Hulk is uber powerful. In some cases, I think he's actually been made way too powerful. But for even a cop to think he can hold the Hulk by the arms and around the neck, there's a lot of stupid going on right here. And then you have the cop right down on the bottom, who obviously doesn't care about the safety of the other 2 officers, firing a bullet into we know he's bulletproof Incredible Hulk. But this is the thing. This does, and this is the part where we learn who the Hulk is. So he easily throws off the cops and he jumps away. And one of the big storylines of the Hulk in the 1960s and 70s was he just wanted to be left alone. So you would always have him fight monster of the week, bad guy of the week, supervillain of the week, and then he would go off in some isolated area. Hulk always hunted. Hulk want to be alone, that kind of thing.
Now, in those cops' defense, one of the other things that was a staple of the Hulk in these days was it seemed like everybody had to be convinced by seeing it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was even something in this story that said, I always heard that he was bulletproof, but I didn't believe it until now.
Yeah.
It's like these guys, they have to, it's like that guy in the bar that, you shouldn't mess with him, but somebody's going to.
Yeah.
Because they have to find out for themselves. And like I said, it was a way to introduce what the Hulk had, I get attacked by cops or men in green uniforms. I just want to be left alone. And then, so it's just the setup for the watcher.
Yeah, basically. So Hulk is sitting there, and Hulk doesn't know. Hulk is trying to think about. It just seems something Hulk should do, but Hulk don't know why. And the watcher says, I could tell you the answer to your dilemma, my green-skinned behemoth. I could inform you in words, even you might comprehend the reason why you lack. I think that it's supposed to say lack, but it says rack. The green matter within your jade-colored skull. Yes. Anyway. Okay. Rack is was a slang word.
Yeah, like I'm racking my brain. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I remember that. Why you feel a relentless compulsion to think, to try to understand the hostile world about you, but you do not hear me speak. Do you, Hulk? For I do not will let you do so. After all, is it not my sworn duty merely to stand? Let me get down there. Merely to stand observing the births and lives and deaths of men in the universes, am I not fated forever to know the future in its infinite variations, yet bound by a sacred oath never to interfere? In short, am I not the Watcher? Dude, he interferes a lot for somebody who doesn't want to interfere. And that's, so he goes on basically pondering what the Hulk is and who the Hulk is, and then he gives us the origin of the Hulk. And of course, we know that they want to set off a gamma bomb that is strikingly phallic in this particular issue.
We're going there.
Okay. And then, all right, we see that they're about to shoot the bomb. And we do get a little introduction to Betty, find out who she is. General Ross, we know that Betty's the boyfriend of Bruce Banner. And as soon as the rocket is about to be fired, he sees Rick Jones. So he goes out to save Rick Jones, telling his assistant Igor to hold the bomb off. But Igor is a little bit, ambitious. So he sets the bomb off anyway. And as we know what happens, they try to get into a trench. Like, why would that save him from gamma radiation anyway?
They never explain that, but it's just something that we're supposed to go with.
Because 1960s.
Well, yeah, so, it just got to get in that hole, and you're.
Yep.
I guess it does. I guess it doesn't go into the ground. It's just straight.
Yeah, it's just. Should we go? No. Okay, we're going straight. Okay. And so we do see him get hit, and everything is basically the same. This is the origin of the Hulk right here. This is Hulk number 1. If you read it, it basically goes word for word up to this point. And of course, the turning point is, as we know, the radio kind of sets him off and he becomes the Hulk, except for this time around, as the comic book says, he's got the brain of Bruce Banner.
The only thing I wish they had done would have been to have him turn gray the first time.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been kind of cool here. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, you were kind of just supposed to look at the first issue of Hulk as it had been colored wrong. It wasn't until later that someone took that idea and said, I can really do something with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was Peter David with the
That was Peter David.
So,
yeah.
So I guess that's why they did not do that here.
And then after we get the origin story, and then we get the explanation of what happened, how he became the Hulk, how he was hunted, get the Watcher saying, but hold, what if only the body of Bruce Banner had been affected by the gamma rays? What if his mind had remained whole, though trapped in a misshapen form? Like, other than green, it's like the best workout of all time. So he changes again, and boom, he's like, holy, I've changed all right, grown enormously, and my skin, it's green all over. The only thing that hasn't changed is my brain. You know, he opened his pants and looked down at least once. So, hey, other things.
We went there again.
Yes, we did. Yes. I don't know why. You know, there were none of these jokes in the first issue where I didn't have somebody to bounce off of. So, of course, he's talking about how he still has his brain, even though he's got the body of a monster. Watcher is saying, and that to paraphrase your mortal poet, Robert Frost shall make all the difference. For now, it is an intelligent being that crashes out of the radiation-proof chamber. We see military guys that crash into him. And change number 1, he reasons with them. And so instead of fighting the military right off and everybody reporting that we fought some monster, they just run scared. So he goes back because he realizes that, yes, Igor was supposed to hold the bomb, but he didn't. Igor fires at him. Hulk crushes the gun and he captures him. And this is change number 2. And that is no abomination. Am I right about that? Or would the abomination still be created?
I don't see how.
Because he gets captured right here as a spy. And we see somebody's got a thumbnail microphone who is talking to Russia, where we get the gargoyle. And he's like, oh my gosh, they managed to create a big old monster with great mental power. So the gargoyle flies over because he was the next villain, right?
Yes.
And he shows up to fight the Hulk, shoots him, and is like, that doesn't do anything. So the Hulk reasons with him. The gargoyle's no longer a villain or a threat. So that's change number 2. And then he changes back into Bruce Banner and he's talking to Betty, and you see night come on again. The next day he turns into the Hulk. So they figure, wait a second. Okay, I get it. I get in, let's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is what the Hulk's supposed to be. Comes that General Thunderbolt Ross, comes up, calls him a monster, and he reasons with him. So I got to tell you, Eric, a little repetitious.
Well, but that's kind of the whole idea, that it was repetitious, solving all of his problems through violence and aggression, where now, since he has Bruce's brain, he can reason. I love the part where he goes, like, GD, man, when I'm Bruce Banner, you call me a milksop. Now I've got all this power and you call me a monster. What does it take to satisfy you? Like, the next 3 panels should have been him going, psh, psh, psh.
He says, I know you got this way because of that gamma bomb blast while you were saving that teenager. You're a brilliant man, one of America's most valuable. Even in this grotesque form you wear, you got in the service of your country. And he kind of respects him through this. The one thing about the repetition is, you're right. The basically Hulk before outside the actual real Hulk that we know is basically Grape Ape. People go up to him, a gorilla, la, 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 bang, 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 bang. He fights them, and that's it. So we do see Bruce Banner and Betty. They're enjoying life together. They get married. They actually buy a house that has reinforced furniture. So at nighttime, when he changes the Hulk, they can actually live there. So everything seems to be going aces. We see the Hulk meet up with Fantastic Four. Reed Richards says, hey, I've got this buddy. He's a big old rock monster. Can you come and help me cure him? So they set up Ben Grimm to actually try to cure him. And they do, because he also has the brain of Bruce Banner. We see that Loki in this panel right down here. Okay, there we go. We cured the thing. And we see that Loki tried to take over the brain of the Hulk like he did in Avengers #1, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he can't, because his mind is too strong now as Bruce Banner. So we get the next big change, which is there is no Avengers.
Well, since, I think in the Avengers #1, they sent that thing there in the Hulk, who had tried to do the right thing, but being more or less just nothing but, rage and aggression, just went straight through the tracks. Whereas this time he was smart enough to just land, like I said, land softly. I don't know how a half-ton monster lands softly.
Well, wouldn't it be smarter just to say he lands before the bridge and then walks out? But okay, let's go with land softly.
Yeah, that one tiny little change means no Avengers, and that will be important later on, kids.
Reed Richards has asked me to move permanently to New York to engage in joint research with him. Betty says it's marvelous. It's marvelous, darling. So they go. Basically, it's Reed and Bruce putting their brains together when they get an intruder alert. And it's Charles Xavier, who, I got to tell you, this kind of bothered me. I don't know why. I understand. He says that, pardon my intrusion, but I thought it advisable to prove to you I could activate your special elevator from below by sheer mental power. Why? What freaking power trip are you on that you've got to mentally slap these two guys?
I look at that more as that's showing them, hey, without having to prove myself, I just did. I can be of help. We're 3 mental giants here. and maybe he's overcompensating for being in a chair. I don't know.
Maybe that's it. But he says, perhaps you'll let me join you in your secretive work. Again, I hope you'll pardon my being so forward. And of course, they say, hey, no, you're a geneticist. You're awesome. Let's join up. And they do. Then
you missed something. Oh. He goes, I'm glad I did this instead of forming my school for gifted mutants.
I am truly glad I came here instead of forming a school for mutants as I had originally intended.
So no X-Men.
No X-Men because of the Hulk. Now that one's a stretch, I think. But okay, we'll go.
Well, he did this and he wasn't there to form that school, I guess. So I guess he found a different vocation.
And you know what? He could have left all of the mutants to Magneto at this point. They build Cerebro. And they get this big old overload of energy, only to find out that this big old overload of energy belongs to Galactus. So that means that Silver Surfer has come along, and did they still not? The Watcher, I guess, figured he wasn't going to interfere, so you didn't get the Earth, you didn't get the fire in the sky.
No, what happened was it said that what they were doing was sent out such powerful emissions
yeah, he says
that he
right
didn't
here.
need the Surfer to find the planet. So he
That's
basically
right.
said,
That's
"You
right.
guys destroyed yourselves."
Yep, he says that right here, as a matter of fact. And so they try to fight him off, and he says, "Bah, Galactus." And by the way, I love the writing in older comic books. "Bah, your puny powers are as nothing to one who has feasted on the latent energies of countless stars. He's bowling us over like 10 pins. But how did he ever find the Earth?" And this is where we get this. "I, Earthling, once I needed a sentinel to find life-sustaining worlds for me, one called the Silver Surfer. But I did not need him to find your planet, for the powerful emanations of your own power-seeking apparatus guided me here. You doomed your own world." It amazes me that I literally read this like yesterday, and you remember this so much better than me. I gotta take
Well,
some
I
fish
read
oil
this
or something.
tonight.
Oh, okay. I see. So we get the Hulk, we get everybody trying to stop Galactus and pretty much being put down. I love this little mini spaceship Xavier's in. It leads to so many questions, like who put him in it? Was there a scene off panel where he's struggling between his chair and the ship, climbing in? Like, "Don't give up hope yet, my friends. Perhaps this concentrated laser beam, which we built into our special airship." And he fires it at Galactus. Galactus bitch slaps him, much like he did the other two. The guys go away defeated, and they come up with this idea to merge all three heroes into, I guess, onslaughts.
Close.
Sound impossible to describe it to minds accustomed to lesser phenomena. And when at length the smoke begins to clear, something stirs within the wreckage and the rubble. Something vaguely human in form, yet larger, more ominous. Somehow, in short, something far more than merely human. And then we see to me, it looks like Xavier absorbed the other two. The psychotron that allowed Reed Richards, Bruce Banner, and Charles Xavier to link up their powerful brains, merge them mentally and physically into one huge superpowered entity. Did they name them?
Yes.
I am the X-Man. Dun, dun, dun. All righty. So we do see that Ben Grimm is watching. He says, "Look, pal, I don't know who you are, what you've done with Reed and the rest, but just in case you're in league with that even bigger bozo, the view screen show on the roof, you're staying put until I find the guys." And he says, "Foolish human, you cannot be allowed to stand in the path of X-Man." So right away, he's to the point where he doesn't care about the people he loves. He smacks the Thing into a whole bunch of machinery. As a matter of fact, it was the machinery that changed him from the Thing into Ben Grimm. And he goes out to fight Galactus.
Because you notice he says, "Before I completely forget the reason why I'm doing this," right there, before I completely forget my human origins, perhaps even my predestined mission. Another 20 minutes, he's probably teaming up with Galactus.
Right. Then the primitives of this world have not given up hope. The instinct for survival still lives in them. Now they're Irish. I've little more in common with the humans of Earth. I'm Irish now. Yet my every thought impulse tells me I must strive to defeat you, and I shall defeat you, or at least defeat you I shall. And Galactus says, "Hey, look, your mental force coming at me in vast invisible waves is nearly the equal of my own. Never in countless worlds have I encountered such a threat." We see the two face off, and Galactus says, "No, I cannot go on. It would take months, perhaps years, to defeat you this way. And by then I would have depleted my energy." And that's actually one thing I do like that they started doing, and they throughout continuity with Galactus. He would start off massive, but the more his energy depleted, the smaller he would get. All righty. So he goes off on his own. The three split up, and they find out that none of them have their powers anymore. Reed can't stretch. Xavier lost his mutant ability of telepathy, and the Hulk can't change. Only the one that is happy about it is Bruce Banner. The other two like their superpowers. But also we find out that the Thing has changed as well. So the ladies are looking for their men. They see Ben Grimm is changed back into the Thing. And they all kind of get scared because when he pops up, he says, well, what are you losers staring at? It's been alive, but the X-Men's emanations must have caused him to revert back to the thing. You know it, big brain, and I can already tell I'm a whole lot stronger than I was before. Strong enough that nobody's ever going to boss me around with that good do-gooder jazz. Nobody! And of course, everybody's like, no, this can't be. And he's like, and they offer to cure him. He's like, cure me? Who says I want to be cured by a pack of weak-kneed humans? He smacks them around a little bit, jumps out the window. And they realize that basically they've got the Hulk on their hands all over again. And General Ross starts up Operation Thing, where he promises to take down the thing, even if it takes a lifetime. Thus, the Watcher says, there is perhaps a cosmic scale somewhere in an inescapable balance which decrees for every gain there must be a loss. Yet, if there is, then even a Watcher can only rail in vain against it and ask the despairing question, why? And his only answer is the silence of the unspeaking stars. There you go. And that is issue number 2 of What If, ladies and gentlemen. Quick review there, Eric. What do you think?
A quick review. That's a pretty clever story. The early issues of What If, and you pointed this out yesterday, they didn't seem to be big on happy endings.
Not very, no.
And we're about to explore another one, in our next one. I thought it was clever the way they did it to where it was basically the Thing becomes the Hulk. But what I did notice says, and I can already tell I'm much stronger than I was before. Yeah, but now you're almost skinny. I mean, they maybe should have made him more massive.
Yeah, so he actually looked like he's got the Hulk's power to him somewhere.
I think it was clever that bringing the 3 great intellects together, turning them into one giant character. I thought that was kind of neat. I thought this was a well done story because you got to care about Bruce Banner as the Hulk, kind of almost where you kind of felt bad that he wasn't going to get to be the Hulk anymore with Bruce Banner's brain, because I guess he probably was happy about not having his powers anymore. He'd adjusted to it very well, and it looked like that's something he could have eventually gotten control of.
Through Peter David, we actually saw him living well as the Hulk.
And I like how just by the butterfly effect, no Avengers, no X-Men, which I thought they took the time to do. So I give it I'd say it's thumbs up.
Yeah, I enjoyed it also. I found this one to be all right. Of course, it's a little repetitive, like I said at the end, and it seemed like this would be the way things would go. Oh, wait, hold on, leader. You don't have to be a villain here. I'm a smart guy too. Let's talk, which you would think that would be the kind of thing that would happen. Now, Bruce Banner has the power to deal with things and to reason with people. What else down the line? Think about something. What else would happen because the Hulk wasn't there? Magneto owns the freaking world as far as mutants are concerned.
But where are those mutants? Since Xavier didn't form the school, there was nobody for Magneto to battle in that first issue. And
well, that would just mean that Magneto himself would have succeeded in he attacked an army base. Okay,
but there's all, like I said, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants didn't come together. So there's a lot of dominoes fell in different directions. So theoretically, and they didn't touch on Magneto in this story, which maybe they should have found a way to work him in, to say like why Xavier's decision might have had some kind of effect that maybe might have changed Magneto's way of thinking, and he decided he did not want to take over the world.
I said, he attacks that army base because that's what he wanted to do anyway. It's just the X-Men aren't there to stop him. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that happens. Fantastic Four, from Galactus to Annihilus. Now you have him invading. You have a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on. So you would have to think also Iron Man is still out there. There are the Giant Man and the Wasp are still out there. So there are people still doing their thing. But yeah, this does open a couple of doors. I'll tell you what, also, if you've made it this far, let us know what you think would have been a consequence of this particular story. Not necessarily a rewrite of what would happen if the Hulk had Bruce Banner's brain, but what is something going on from the story that they told here? What do you think down the line may have, the superheroes get crushed by a mountain in Secret Wars? That's one thing.
If we ever get to that point.
Of course, yeah, but that's the kind of thing that you would put out there. Let me hear you guys' suggestions. I like the book. I'm looking forward to issue number 3. I've read it already. I've got the trade paperbacks. I've read it. Keep an eye out. I hope you guys share. I need some numbers on these videos. The first one just blew chunks as far as views are concerned. Don't forget to hit the like and ring that bell if you haven't done it already. And watch the original video that should be popping up somewhere around here. And keep an eye out for issue number 3. I think you're going to enjoy it, Eric. Thanks for hanging out and talking about this comic. And hope you join for the other ones as well. I know you want to do next week's issue. It is, what if the Avengers had never been? All righty, looking forward to it. Once again, if you want to help the channel out, go over to Patreon or Ko-Fi. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.